Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Fireside Chat. Hi, friends. How are you? I'm Pat Sloan, and tonight we're going to look at not just the challenge for the day, but a whole bunch of other stuff that I just announced yesterday on Sunday. So I'm going to walk through it so you can know what it's all about. So get settled in, get comfy. So the first thing is, let's talk about the challenge. So we are rolling down the calendar. It is, yes, the 27th, Monday. I know it's Monday. It's Monday the 27th. And our challenge has, what the heck is EPP? Some of you know what that is. EPP stands for English Paper Piecing. And I actually mentioned that on a daily fairly recently here. But a lot of times people confuse English paper piecing and foundation paper piecing and just the word paper piecing. So English paper piecing differs immensely from a paper piecing or a foundation paper piecing or freezer, like if you see that FPP or just PP for paper piecing. When you're doing that, you're using a piece of paper and you're sewing on the lines with your sewing machine. When you're doing English paper piecing, you're taking a shape and you're wrapping the fabric around it by hand, and then you're hand stitching it generally. Some people will stitch on the machine, but for the most part you're stitching it on paper. So they're two entirely different things. So I thought today I would drag out all, well, it's probably not all, but it's almost all of my English paper piecing stuff. Because apparently I have been a wannabe English paper piecer for a long time. I made one project, big bed quilt with gigantic hexagon flowers on it, years and years ago. So it's like 100 by 100 top, and I've never had it quilted. I still have the top. Did it just on travel and stuff like that, and I have played around and done little pieces here and there. So I thought, well, what all do I have? I know I have a baggie or two of projects like that I need to get out. So let's see what kind of things, well, let's see what I have. It was I found it a bit shocking myself. It's like, oh, I have quite a bit. What happened here? So first of all, I have this container. This is not a small container. These are, they're like those stackable things you get at Michael's or, Joann's or something. So I have this is like the second largest, and I think there's 4. And I keep different types of supplies in them. So I'm going to show you what's in here, because this is a variety of styles of English paper piecing things that either my friends have given me or I've collected. And I did show you, well, first let me just show you the little hexagon blocks, because the other day when I had the container out and did the little demo, I didn't have a block with me. So in this one, I keep these hexagons that I'm doing. And they are on, whoops, sorry for the bouncing around. They are on, they're not sewn side by side like a traditional grandmother's flower garden. I'm doing just one flower at a time, and they're gray, and there's some, white on this, but all with the red centers. I don't know if I'm going to do, well, here's an all gray one. I can't remember if I was going to do an all red one. Okay, here's 2 more. There we go. So that's what I have done, and I'm using, let's come down here now. So I'm using these little mini charm packs, which are 2.5-inch squares. I love 2.5-inch squares, so I bought a few that all sort of went together from wintry things. A bunch were from my friend Venki from Norway, and then I did collect another one up, which was another line that has the same red, white, and they're all kind of a winter color. And I showed you how I'm making the hexagons on these papers, and this is on the prior YouTube, and I'll link over to that one. So they're on the pliable papers, and this is not the traditional way anybody does English paper piecing. And the people who do a lot of English paper piecing, these are too soft and pliable. They're a fiber that actually stays in the quilt. So they're a cotton type of fiber that's just a woven, and it's firm enough for me, and a lot of people love it. My friend Helen Stubbings is the one that cuts these die cuts. And so also, remember, I couldn't find my regular thimble. Here it is. I found my regular thimble. This is my tailor's thimble, my good one. So I am so excited. I put it in here. It was just in another spot where it should not have been. So here's the container for this English paper piecing that goes with this. So I actually have this project in two containers, because these don't fit in here. This is kind of like the working one. Like when I go stitch with my friends, I might take this along, and then I need to put them in here. And then I have more of papers of Helen's that, see, here's what the package looks like. So I have more papers that I didn't put in here yet. So I have papers in there. Now she does cut different sizes, and she can do all kinds of sizes. And this is the fiber. I just wanted to show you. She sent me this packet of, I just want to get one out so you can see it. They're little like apple cores. I love the apple core block. It is, I've never done anything with it, but I've loved it. So that's an apple core, like, you know, looks like bites are taken out on either side. So she sent me some of those, and she sent me some clamshells. So there's the clamshell one. And they're all the pliable stuff. Okay, that is what I've been working with, because I found that I really enjoyed them, and I really like the idea that they will stay. I don't have to take them out. They will stay in the quilt. I like the idea that I can use this 2.5-inch squares, and I don't have to do anything. I just use them as is. The other project, I'm going to get back to this. I'll get back to this. It's like, how did I get so much English paper piecing stuff? Okay, so I do have another project that I showed you at the beginning of, maybe it was the end of last year, that my friends sent me. It is designed by Kitty. Some of you have sent me some hummingbird fabric. I'm going to try to incorporate in here, because and this is a big project. So these are all different shapes, like here, and they're on cardboard. Let me just take one out, and this will make the pollinate quilt that Kitty designed, and her friend Karen of the DIY Addicts has this kit of all the stuff, and they sent it to me. Now this is, whoops, this is paper, like a cardboard. And this would not stay, you know, it's firmer. So like when you have these really crisp points, the paper for me would probably be the best way to go, because I'm not very talented at this. You know, it's not something I've done a lot of. People who work with this a lot, it's like working with applique a lot. You get really good at it. You know, all of my Australian friends seem to be experts at English paper piecing. You will, you know, so these are all shapes to make the pollinate quilt. Now that's the one thing I didn't bring up here. Karen sent me a picture. Here's the, I think that might be part of the pollinate quilt, but that's what's on these little pictures, but I don't have the full picture in here. I will put the picture of it on my website for Monday night for this chat, so you can go see. So all of this is in here, except that I have got a working packet over there somewhere in my closet in my project bag. I have got the part that I've started, and that is where that is. So let me just move this over here, and okay, let's take a break. So I can't believe that I have like 2 English paper piecing projects sort of like barely started, so they're considered to me in progress. The one for the pollinate, it has great big bees as part of it. It's so cute, and I pulled a bunch of fabric, and I've been playing around for the design, because you can go so many different ways, and different people have made them, and every time I would look, I'd be like, oh, that's cute, that's cute, that's cute. And it just became, you know, I haven't progressed very far on it. And I need to take a little time to think about it. Like that little hexagon one, those are super easy. I'm making a flower, putting it on the background. I'm just going to set the backgrounds and probably do some cornerstones on the blocks, and all of that will be really easy. But the pollinate, it's got to have a plan, and it needs to be a bit more organized so that the images pop out that I want to have pop out. Okay. So English paper piecing doesn't have to be that complex. I'll show you some books here then where you can see some other blocks. But I want to show you what's in this container because I'm just like, wow. I knew, I mean, it's not totally full. So see, it's not totally full. It's you know, maybe a third full of stuff. But what I did was, there's this company, which if you've done anything with the English paper piecing, you've probably ordered from paper piecers because they cut lots of shapes. And I showed you actually this block recently that I did one block and then decided I really didn't want to do anymore. Who knows? Maybe I'll revisit that concept. But these are huge. So they're great big curved petals. They're great big Dresden plates. But you know, I decided, I don't know. I didn't know if I wanted to do that, so I made just the one block. Now here are like regular hexagons. Now the size of it, when it says it's a 2-inch hexagon, that's the length from here, of the side. It is not the length of the whole unit. That is much bigger than 2 inches. Just like if you do a 1-inch hexagon, it is not, you know, teeny tiny. It's 1 inch across or 2 inches across. That's how you measure a hexagon. So I have lots of sizes of hexagons, and then I have more that Helen sent me of her stuff. I have bigger hexagons and even bigger ones. What do I have? I have tinier little Dresdens like this. These sort of they're not pointy Dresdens, they're round Dresdens. They're pretty cool. All right, and then I have in here, what is this? Oh, these are some tools my friend Lynette sent me, but that's for applique. I'm gonna leave that in there. Okay, so years ago when I was telling Jane that I wanted to do some hexagons, Jane sent me a bunch of these templates. My friend Jane Davidson in Australia. So she sent me these templates. So now I have them so that I can cut my own paper if I want. And then I can also just use this as a window for the fabric. So, the challenge today. What the heck is English paper piecing? I seem to have a small obsession with it. There are a couple books. I've told you about this one before, which is my favorite, and it has extraordinary directions. They're just in all kinds of projects, you know, on how to work with them. Like there you can see the basting. Like some people baste their hexagons down. Some people glue them. You know, so this book takes you through all of that. There's another book out there that is got a lot of history part in the front. So if you like reading about history of hexagon quilts, and then I just wanted to show you this one picture. She also has all the technique stuff. But here is why you buy. Here is why you buy fabulous fabric. Look at that block. I have those bears somewhere. I have that fabric. I don't think I have the other fabric. But look at how she fussy cut this print here. Let me get this print to go in these spots there. Yes, that is why you buy the crazy, awesome, cool prints that you buy. So that's what I have to do, is I have to go through and figure out stuff. Here's a medallion at the bottom. Look at that. And there isn't, you could do this with piecing somehow, but sometimes not really, because you've got curves. You've got lots and lots of curves. This particular one is done with all these things that look like look at all the different shapes. So, you know, it's really hard to simulate that in patchwork. And it's very portable and it's very relaxing. So tell me If you do English paper piecing, tell me if you want to do it, if you've ever tried it. If you did try it and didn't like it, what didn't you like? I always think that our skills change over time, and if you have any kind of desire to do something and it didn't work out the first time, go back and do it again later, years later, months later, because your skills change. So that is your challenge today. Tell me something about you and English paper piecing. If you have a project, show me the projects. I want to see. Okay, let's talk about all the new stuff that's coming up and that got shared yesterday. And all the links are below in the video here. And while you're there, subscribe, hit that subscribe button for me. Click the likes too. I always like to see that. So the May calendar came out. So if you have not downloaded it, the link is below. And I went with Magical Quilty May. So we're going to have Magical Quilty May. And I have got all of the assignments for the days, and I have all the projects. As you can see in bold, I've highlighted when the projects release on the days, and some of them will end in May, and some will start in May. The other thing we're going to do, which I'm super excited about, is that we have been doing in April our stay-at-home quilt along. And let me show you today's stay-at-home block. It is chocolates. I think I've had, who else has this fabric? When this fabric came out, I think everybody bought it. Everybody. And then there were other chocolate boxes that came out. But I do think this was the nicest chocolate box fabric that came out. It's my favorite. So I had to put this in there. I like chocolate. I like chocolate with nuts. C's, nuts, and chews are my favorite box. If you happen to want to send me one, I wouldn't say no. We don't have C's stores here in the East Coast. So we only get like little pop-up stores sometimes in the mall, or, you know, around the holidays, or like, you know, that type of thing. So that is the stay-at-home block. So we did the stay-at-home block, and I have my top. I've got to get that bottom row, and then I have the beach umbrella fabric to use. So here is my top so far, and all the rows except for the last one are up there. And I love that it's busy and fun. It makes me super happy. So what are we doing in May? Now, a lot of people ask me, could we do another? Could we do another? You know, and it's a lot to ask everybody. You know, like I want you to sew along with it. So I don't want it to be complicated, and I don't want it to be complicated because otherwise, well, I won't sew along with it. You know, I have to have time to do it. So I thought about it. I thought, well, what would I want to sew that's not too much work? And could do every day, or, you know, if you can't do it every day, you might, you know, catch up easily in 2 days, do 2 days at a time. So I came along with our May rainbow quilt. I've had this idea for this quilt in my head probably for years, and I've just never gone ahead. It's simple. It's very, very simple. So I didn't want to make, you know, I didn't know. It just now is the time. Now is the time. I'm rambling. So our May rainbow quilt, what you're going to do is every day I'm going to assign down on the daily video, on our dailies, I will be telling you how many blocks. It'll be either 4 or 6 triangle blocks, and they're big. And that way you can showcase some fabrics. You can either, I'm debating, this is just a sample, because I'm going to try to do a little bit darker blues for the indigo band on here than this one, but it's some scrap fabric I had there. But I can't decide whether the lights on mine will be all the same fabric or whether I will mix it up. Or I may have a lot of the same fabric for the lights and then mix it up a little bit with some others. I have a lot of lights right now, and a lot of them don't have much pattern, or they're very, you know, have scattered patterns. So I'm almost thinking to do it sort of random, so that as long as they're high enough contrast to the dark. So it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So those are the colors of the rainbow, and we will do this nice color wash across with big half square triangles. And I jokingly said on the post yesterday with all this. I said, well, you could just do squares if you want. And honestly, you could. It's not going to have the same look because it won't have that angle that a half square triangle gives you. So if you are violently opposed to a half square triangle, which I hope you're not, you could do squares, but you're going to be blocky. You know, they're like pixeled, you know, they're like pixel drawings. So just do the triangles. Just do the triangles. You'll love it. And we have lots and lots and lots of things came out yesterday. So I've got the Jolly Bar Sew Along, which is over here. Woohoo! The Jolly Bar book. Yes! I am so excited about this book. I love the concept of using the Jolly Bar, which is, I have to keep reaching over here, sorry. This is the Jolly Bar. This is the one I used. Here is the butterfly block, which is one of the quilts in the book. So the book has the quilts, and then what we're doing is taking a few blocks from each quilt and doing the sampler. So here's the sampler, and it's a row by row, which means it's super easy. You do the row, and then you can sew it together. But here's an example of, oh, here's really cute. So here's one of the quilts in the book. And then that shape will be one of the shapes that we do on the row, you know, so there'll be part of this, or, you know, so there's like flying geese. These made like little trees. It's called Festive Forest Quilt. So all of these are done with the Jolly Bar, which you can only get from the Fat Quarter Shop. And same with the book. It's their exclusive program of pre-cuts. And I use that canning jar. This is the canning jar. And I used it for, I made some of the blocks to show you already. Here's the butterfly quilt. Then here's another. These are the two that will go into the sampler. Aren't they cute? They are so cute. But there's lots of other Jolly Bars that are really cute. And if you have a layer cake, a Jolly Bar is half of a layer cake. So just cut a layer cake in half and you'll be able to do this. So all the details for that are below. And also, if you just go to the website, everything is linked there. So that's, it might just give it to you all in one place. We have two other things coming up this Sunday. Gudrun asked me, Gudrun of GE Designs asked me if I would join her to create, to sew a quilt of hope. She designed a pattern, and you use a layer cake for hers. So and we're going to sew for one day, and she's calling it the Quilt of Hope because very much like her quarantine quilt along, which we did. That's mine, Elvira, on the wall up there. The red, black, and white is going to get sewn up here within the next few days because I want it done by Sunday, the top anyways. But for the Quilt of Hope, she decided you'll buy the pattern, and the proceeds for the pattern go to these 3 charities that she is going to donate to. Which is fabulous, and their primary mission is to feed people right now that have lost their job or that are struggling to get food. However, these 3 organizations are in her community, and they're people that she knows and works with. And so I am so honored that she asked me to sew along with her and to share about these needs so that all of us can help. So you'll be able to download the pattern. And then you'll need a layer cake or cut your own fabric from your stash. When you order the pattern, you'll get an email you'll get the supply list, and then after that, for the patterns, they'll be emailed to you on Sunday. Now there's different sizes of quilts in there. I'm going to do the lap size, which takes most of the layer cake, but if you just want to sew along on Sunday and do a baby size, it takes less fabric and less pieces and less time. So you could do a crib quilt or baby quilt. So I'm going to use this fuchsia. I found this, like this, no, it's this magenta. Yeah, it's magenta. Fuchsia is probably later. Magenta, it's dark. I have had this solid for a while, and I'm like, it's just perfect. This fabric is Heather Ross, Far, Far Away, and I'll be showing you more about it, but it has, I don't have it pulled up. It's got all different colors, but there's big fat moons and stars. I'm not getting a good corner there to show you. But here's like Rapunzel in her castle. And so it is just darling. Oh, here's, it's got quirky stuff. I love her drawings. There's a little honey bear. That's so cute. Anyway, that is what I'm using, is this one. And then lastly, yes, I covered it. Okay, I have one more thing. One more. In May, we're doing the Stitch Mania Mystery Stitch Along, which is nice because the cross stitchers do that Stitch Mania where they start a new project every single day. And I'm like, you know, just shoot me. No, there's just no way I could start 31 projects. Not even 31 quilt projects would I want to start. That's just too much. So the fabulous Fab Quarter Shop is a mystery going on. And so you'll get every, I think there's like 5 parts over the month. And they give a little sneak peek here of the first part is the bird, which is so cute. And guess what? They did a needle minder. Mine just came in, so I can show you. Isn't that cute? And this is one of the needle minders so that you can, it's a magnet, and you put it either, like you could actually wear it, or you could put it on your cross stitch, or on, I put them on my bags so that I can just tap the needle there and lay it there while I'm working. He is just so darling. So the sew along is called Feels Like Home, and it's a super reasonable price. You just buy the pattern, and they will also email you all the things. And if you want to just buy, they did have some stitching, some kits. I don't know if they're in. I have to check to see if they came back in. They sold out, so they might be back in now. I'm probably going to use the Orifil thread that's in the same colors. So I'll just pull colors for that, for the Orifil floss. And I'm pretty much decided I'm going to use this cloth, that color cloth, the sort of burlap color, but you could use the white, you know, if you really like it nice and crisp. But I'm just doing the sort of white or off-white for the Bloomtopia, and so I want to change. I want to go and do a different color background. And I'm doing it on the 10 count, which is because I'm a baby cross stitcher, so I need the big holes. I like the bigger holes. So I'm going to do the 10, and I have to use 4 strands of floss, everybody tells me. It's like, okay, I will. I don't have a problem with that. And then when I got that stuff in, I got Norm's Friend. This is a super cute, it's a pin. I'm going to put it on a bag. I don't know, might just have to put it on a little mini quilt or something and leave it sit up there. You know, Norm's back there. Can you see him? Yeah, he's back there shoved in the corner at the moment. I just had to get it. He is so darn cute. There's actually a quilt pattern with a lady and a guy, like a Mr. and Mrs. Gnome. But I'm already working on Norm, so I have 1 gnome pattern. That's enough for me right now. So I got that. I'm super happy. Super happy. Okay. It's gonna be fun. May's gonna be super fun. It's a lot of us will still be at home quite a bit. Virginia is still on June 10th, so they're not going anywhere too much, which is fine. I have a lot to do here, and it's totally fine with me to keep safe. Speaking of that, if you have not done the rainbow, so many cute rainbows. Anita put it in her car window. Did you see our friend Anita on the Facebook group, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan? She put her rainbow in her car window. But there's a bunch. One of them, the lady put, I think she made one into a pillow. She made 2. She made like a bigger banner that she hung outside, and then she made a smaller one into a pillow with pom-poms all around it. So cute. So my Facebook group, there's lots of rainbows happening, and these are expressions of hope as a joint project with Orifil thread. So I hope you make a rainbow. I'll link you up to the rainbow pattern. It's mine's applique. You could do Sherry's from Whole Circle Studio, and hers is foundation or paper pieced, not English paper piece, but foundation or paper piecing, however you want. So it's on paper, so you're sewing on the paper. So you might like that if you're not into applique. My applique is super easy. You got to try it. You got to try it. Okay, I think that this has been super fun. I'm actually really jazzed about the English paper piecing. One of the things, my goal, we all have to have goals, for May is I need to sort of reorg the different projects that I have going on, take a new list, look at bringing in this handwork for the English paper piecing, decide to maybe get the pollinate really going, you know, so that I can really work on it. I want to fit cross stitch in more often, so this is really great for me to do the mystery, because the Bloomtopia I have, I'm starting to get a handle on the Bloomtopia. I have the section done for the first, so I'm like, yes. So I'm, ahead, which is thrilling. And then so for me, I'm trying to get some new routines. And I also will be wrapping the book up right here in the next few days. Yes, again. So that means May for me is a bit of a reorganization, try new things. And I thought it would be fun to do another goodie bag today. I'm not doing them every week, so you always have to watch the end to know. It's more fun to space them out. So it's, just little treasures. So I have one. Let me show you what I got in there today. We talked about all different stuff today, but I'll just hold them up. Okay, so first I've got a charm pack. So this is a great charm pack, very Americana. So red, white, and blue. I thought that would be fabulous. Somebody will get this one, along with the Perfect 5 ruler. Yes, so if you don't have the book yet, you'll have to order the book if you win this. But the ruler is, I don't know, I just love having a ruler made for the job. Then I have some Aurifil thread, and I have a nice little booklet that tells you all about the different thread weights at Aurifil. Aren't those pictures gorgeous? And it tells you what they are, why you use them, how you use them. And then at the end of this nice little booklet is a chart that tells you how to use all the threads. So you got that. And I have from my friends at Olfa, cute little, I still have some of these for the goodie bags. And the cutter. Yeah, these are perfect. Got a quilting journal for you from the Back Quarter Shop. So if you don't have one of these, they are fabulous. And then some buttons. I've got a selection of buttons. This group is super cute. You can put these on little mini quilts. You can add them, to decorate your zippy pouches. Super, super fun. So you could do that zippy pouch pattern of mine and put the great little pin cushions and threads on there. So in order to qualify for the random number picker, so you want to leave me a comment at my website. So that's link is right below. And tell me, let's see. Tell me if you use charm packs. Tell me, since I have a charm pack in here and the ruler for the Perfect 5 book, tell me if you use charm packs. Do you cut your own? Do you like to buy them? Do you just collect them? Tell me what you do. A charm pack is 5-inch squares, and they're prepackaged, and they have the entire fabric line in it. So, okay, this has been super fun. Thank you for joining me this evening or watching later on the replay. I'm Pat Sloan. I appreciate everything that you do when you come and join my communities and you help each other. This has been just so joyful to watch. I love you, and I will see you online.